everyone. Welcome to the first episode of An Interview With. Today, I am joined by the insanely talented, the devilishly handsome Sean Smith. Hello, Sean.
Oh, thank you so much for that intro. I'm devilishly handsome. I feel like I've got a big head now all of a sudden.
How are you?
I'm very well, man, very well. And I've got to say, absolutely adoring this outfit. That is same difference. We are one video, minus the emblem, I must say, but it's going to come, isn't it, apparently?
Yeah, yeah, I thought
it's
I'd
like
get
looking in a
up.
mirror.
Yeah, a funhouse mirror.
Yeah, you look great, buddy. You look great. I can't believe they still make those, considering that way back in 2008, but incredible finds.
It took me a while to find it because I didn't know what to type in on Amazon. So just like white, purple baseball jacket American, and then the first one came up, but it was like £50 and I was like, oof, no. So I looked further down, found this one for, I think it was 15, 16.
Bargain. I mean, no one wants to look like Sean from Same Difference in 2020. so I can see why you got a bargain of a lifetime there.
How's lockdown been for you? Because I know we're almost out of it now. So is lockdown?
Well, you say that. I'm not convinced that it's,
No.
you know, I mean, certainly when you look at, like, I'm into like stocks and stuff as well. And certainly when you look at that, they're way on the way down. So that often tells you that there's not, you know, a lot of people having too much belief in the fact that we're going to get out of it anytime soon. But you never know. I mean, things would certainly look like they're opening up. You know, I've got my mask here.
Hey, that's a nice mask. I've got like a fabric one from Amazon I bought, which I wear. So
yeah,
I go anywhere to the shops.
I'm all for it. I don't know about you, but I think let's be better safe than sorry, and continue until we get rid of it. But yeah, it's I mean, lockdown's been great, mate. Lockdown. I mean, all my dreams came true during this time, you know, with the album and everything. So it's been super exciting, super duper exciting, and it seems like every day something new comes in that puts a smile on my face. And although, you know, it's not all been easy, I think that obviously at the very beginning, having to be in lockdown, not knowing when food's coming, all the angst you get from it, wondering what's next. We Will Rock You getting cancelled, you know. So there's lots of things that went the opposite way. But I've got to say, I feel like I've made as much of this time that I can. I've got an email to say the gym is finally open as well. So I'm like, I've got to get to the gym now. I can finally get my body back that I've been missing, that I've been slowly in decline with. So
do you mean this one, Sean?
Yeah, I wish that I still had those arms bulging out of my shirt, but I took a long time sculpting them, and they left me as soon as they came. But they're coming back. They're coming back now. The gyms are back.
Yes. So we will talk about your new album, Solo, which I am actually obsessed with. I absolutely love it. It's a brilliant album, very, very strong to say it's your first ever solo album you've put out as well.
Oh, thanks, mate.
But I want to go back to the very, very beginnings of your career. It wasn't Same Difference. It wasn't the X Factor. It was on a program called Steps to the Stars.
Oh my God, yeah.
And you was in a boy band. I forgot how many. There was a lot of you in a boy band. And it was called For You to Envy.
Yeah, I know. That wasn't the very beginning. Like, I'd started off, I thought you were reading off my bio, you know. Sean started out at the age of 7 when he was in the tour of Evita.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but that was, oh my God, you know, still to this day, I think I've never had so much fun, you know, doing something than we did with For You to Envy. Because not only did we do Steps to Stars, do you remember the snap dance discos?
Yeah.
Remember those? We had a deal to go around and do all the snap dance discos. So everywhere was like screaming girly fans, you know. And, we had the most incredible time performing in that. And we literally just, it was like one day our teacher came in and we were like rehearsing during lunchtime and said, what do you boys fancy being in, you know, in the shows doing this? And we were like, yeah. And it's sort of like just again, organically just grew.
Yeah.
And we ended up going for Steps to the Stars and got in. It was the very first episode.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we didn't win because the winner got to do, I think it was Live and Kicking on Saturday morning. And so, could you remember that? Like,
Yeah.
I think it was. And God, what amazing times those were. And yeah, unfortunately, we didn't get enough votes. So our whole school didn't get behind us as much as we'd hoped, but it's understandable.
The song was Spending Money, I believe. The song was called Spending Money, and you was the lead.
Someone's been looking at YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube Steps to the Stars, Sean Smith, and there's about
please don't. Please don't.
I had to rewatch it in preparation for this interview. And it's like, I can't explain it. You've got that star quality you've always had. You had in X Factor with your sister, and you still got to this day, which is nice to see. And you look so adorable.
Oh, thank you, buddy. Yeah, I remember it was like, we thought that was our big TV break. We were going to be huge stars. And our teacher got us all free haircuts. Honestly, and our other teacher, funnily enough, we're probably going to get onto this later, but the person who wrote that song was our school teacher, John Gledall, who had written One Life, One Love, which is Same Difference as New Record. So crazy.
That sounds surreal, hearing that in 2020.
Yeah, it is surreal, but you know, because of that whole For You to Envy time, and you know how things were at school and everything, he was like our mentor.
Yeah.
You know, and along with our other teacher, Miss Millett, her name's Jill. Those two kind of shaped who I've become. Oh. And you know, massive thanks have to go to them for believing in us right from the very, very start. So crazy, isn't it, how these things come back around?
Exactly. So we'll flash forward to 2007 now. We'll save you the more embarrassment of Steps to the Stars. So 2007, I was 12, I think. Sorry to make you feel old, but I was 12 years old, watching the X Factor. He's like, really?
That made me feel a little bit like I felt like I'm inside.
So, for those who watched the X Factor, cast your minds back to 2007, where a fresh-faced brother and sister duo literally burst through the auditions room and sang "I'll Be There For You," which is the Friends theme song, is it?
It is indeed, yeah. How do you not know that?
I like Friends, so...
Me too.
So how did that come about? What was the audition process for you? What happened?
Well, I always wanted to do X Factor because, you know, ever since it started, I always had one eye on it, thinking I'd love to go for it one day. And I finally decided, right, that's it, I'm going for it. At the time, I was doing like a touring show and called Dancing Queen. We were up in Scotland, and at the time I always think of Scotland because that's when we got to the judges' houses round, and I remember having a bit of a breakdown because I needed to fly from Scotland to judges' houses. And it was mental, absolutely mental at the time. And I was so stressed out, thinking, I need to get off this show so I can get into that. But yeah, basically, starting from the very beginning, I just wanted to have a go at one of those shows, try my hand at it. And Sarah came along for the audition, and just to sort of support me. And we were in the queue. So they obviously, I don't know if you know much about X Factor, but before you start, they get you to do all this like waving and screaming as if you're having a great time on the day, and they need to do all that outside before we can get to audition. They're like, look, the sooner you get this done, the sooner you can audition. So it was like, you know, screaming and cheering, we're here for the audition. Then we got into this huge long line, and we're thinking we're going to be here all day at this rate. By the time you get to audition, you're absolutely done and you're stressed. And you're halfway through, you're thinking, oh God, I'm gonna leave this queue. I'm so glad that I didn't. But basically we got really lucky because one of the sort of people recording, one of the producers, came up and started talking to us in the line. Yeah. And I think it was more Sarah that he was talking to be honest, more than me. And he was like, so what are you singing today in your audition? She was like, I'm not auditioning, I'm here to support my brother. Aww. And it was like, and then all of a sudden the attention turned to the two of us. And I think maybe we came across as though, like, you know, we were quite good for TV, chatting to the cameras. They went, right, come on, let's get you in for your audition, and took us straight to the front, which, you know, I felt a bit cheeky because of all those people waiting in the queue, waiting for their turn, you know. But yeah, I was so happy with the way it turned out. And yeah, I went in auditioned, got told no. Sarah went in audition, got told no. And then they said, can you wait outside? And then the producer came and spoke to us and said, look, we really like you to try out as a band. Will you do it? And we were like, oh, okay, we'll give it a go. Went in, sang Mel C and Bryan Adams' song. Yeah. Absolutely annihilated it. It was awful because we didn't know our harmonies. Like, we were like singing over each other, looking at each other like brother and sisters do. We're like, can't believe you sang that and you're killing my opportunity.
Oh.
Yeah, they said after that atrocity, they said, yeah, you threw it. I couldn't believe it. And back then it was like, nowadays you go in for your initial audition, and if you get a yes, you sort of get like a golden ticket through the mail, and then you go back to record your live show in front of the judges.
Yeah.
Back then it was like you got whisked from there to the judges, and me and Sarah were like, look, we're going in front of the nation, and we're getting judged by Simon Cowell and, you know, Louis Walsh and Sharon Osbourne. We cannot be that bad. So we were like just non-stop practicing, thinking what we were going to sing, and we decided on doing I'll Be There For You and just rolled with it. So that was one of the longest days of our lives, but one of the craziest and best days, you know.
I remember at the time watching it, Friends had come back on the TV on, I think it was E4, one of the channels, or Channel 4, and obviously the theme song is an iconic staple of the 90s, and with it coming back, repeating itself on TV. And I remember watching it with my mum, and then watching the audition, I was singing along to the song. I was singing, and then my mum was like, how do you know this, Jake? You're 12 years old, how do you know Friends? I was like, it's a Friends song. Probably dancing. I was like, oh, I love these are amazing, because obviously High School Musical came out around the same time.
Yeah.
Or that was all like the range back then, and then you guys came along. I was like, oh, these are awesome. These are like High School Musical all over. Oh, I love it. And it's like sat at my TV like, come on, put them through.
Oh, so you were like our perfect, our perfect audience. So yeah, I think obviously the kids was a big thing for us. Like, we're getting into the market with the kids at the time, and it blows my mind to think that sort of, well, like you, 12 years old, sort of growing up with us, if you know what I mean. That really blows my mind, and I often find that a lot of the this sort of hardcore fans, even mine, will have same difference of kind of a younger, because they were kids when we were on the X Factor Festival, and still remember us to this day. So it's mad, isn't it? The different things that kind of, you know, I remember when I was young, sort of, there were certain things that I would watch and I'd be like, oh wow, I want to be like that, or this is great and I love it, you know. So the thought that was something that might have been like that for kids of that era it just blows my mind.
It really was. I mean, obviously you got through, which I was happy about. My mum was like happy for me, sort of, and you got through to the live shows. Now, did you get to pick the songs you wanted to perform, or did you get given the songs chosen for you?
No, they got given to us most of the time. Do you know what would happen? We'd often get like, you choose 5 songs.
Yeah.
And that's the sort of vibe that you think you want to go for. Because obviously what they do is they say like, oh, it's you know, movies week, or it's, you know, so out of the what the options are, you pick your songs, and then it gets sent off, and then Simon Cowell, your mentor, will look at it and decide either out of that or just completely choose his own. But it just gives you direction. And the funny thing was, like 9 times out of 10, it would never get chosen off of our list because they just wanted us to be a certain way. And I remember, like, for example, Big Band Week, me and Sarah were thinking of like Me and My Shadow, you know, all those kind of, we wanted to do that kind of style. And it was like, You're Reach by S Club. And we were like,
they get Me and My Shadow, they get this. Oh, what have we got? Reach.
Yeah, but you know, looking back at it, like, it's genius. Because
Yeah.
I remember for that first day, I can't remember what the thing was, but I remember when we got Tragedy, and me and Sarah thought, because it was funny, because in the lead up to all of it, they were like, these are the new H and Claire from Steps, and me and Sarah were looking at each other thinking, like, I love those guys. Like, I grew up loving Steps as well, so it's not anything against them, but we were thinking, we certainly didn't put ourselves like that. We weren't thinking that we were like that. So when we got that song, it made us think, oh God, they're stitching us up. They're trying to make us that when we're not. But actually, it wasn't a stitch up at all.
No.
They were kind of like just going, that's what we see you as. So just please roll with it, because you're gonna provide a lot of entertainment for people. And as I said, like we were never in the sort of bottom two. So the entire time, we were never in the sing-off. So something was working. People liked that for some reason. But I'm so glad that they did, because it just kept us in, and that made a big difference to us. You know?
Well, you've got me to thank for, because every time it got to the voting section of the show, I always used to ask my mum if I could vote for you once on the telephone. Hi, this is Same Difference. Thank you for voting for us. And I used to run into the other room, get the phone, and vote for you 2 more times.
Oh!
If my mum's watching this, sorry, Mum.
Oh mate, I absolutely love that. That is the sweetest. That is what it's all about for me. And do you know what? Not only that, back then, like, because now you can like vote, can't you, on an app as many times as you want and stuff. Whereas back then, you actually had to pay you like 50 pence a call or whatever. Absolutely scandalous. But, oh, that's really sweet, mate. Thank you. Thanks for that.
Now, one of my all-time favorite performances you guys did was "Never Had a Dream Come True." Which is one of my all-time favorite S Club songs. Every Christmas, well, every time I play it, I get emotional and just think back to you guys on the X Factor as well. And I listen to it at Christmas as well. And then I sometimes watch the performance. I'm going to embarrass myself. What was that like for you doing that song that time? Because I can remember seeing Sarah cry on the show as well.
Do you know, honestly and truly, it was... people don't know there's a story behind this.
Oh, exclusive for interview with?
That people don't necessarily know. I don't. It's a bit of a sad story, to be honest, but because people sort of look at that story and think that it's all about Sarah, getting bullied, and she ended up crying because of that. But actually, she'd had some really terrible news the day before the final.
Oh wow!
And her friend, because she was at Italia Conti. One of her friends used to kind of like scare his friend, because they used to live in the YMCA in Barbican, and he used to like scare his friend, like and scare him and all this kind of stuff. And this one time wouldn't let him in, so he thought he'd jump across the balcony between the two to go the back way, because he wouldn't let him in to scare him, and fell to his death. Which was a huge shame. And a lot of Sarah's friends were trying to keep it from her, because they knew that we were about to go into the final of the X Factor. And they didn't want to upset her. They wanted her to stay focused. But she got a message from one of her friends saying, "I'm so sorry to hear about this friend." And she was like, "What is it?" Got on the phone to him, heard the news, and she was inconsolable. And at the time, this is another story for you that was quite interesting. They were trying to get Nikki Evans. Do you remember Nikki? She had the story. She was a dinner lady, and she had this story that her dad left her the X Factor application form in the will.
Yeah, I can remember that.
And and so that was her big story. But she had an incredible voice, so she was continually getting. You know what people are like on the internet. You're only in because of your dad and all this kind of stuff. And she's got an amazing voice. It wasn't the case at all.
No.
But she was like adamant, because they were saying that they wanted her to sing "Dance with My Father." I mean, imagine how emotional that would have been for her, and that it would have been, TV gold for the producers, but a hell of a lot. And also, she would have been up. More people would have turned and said, "You're only there because you're dad," and and it wasn't that for her. She was genuinely devastated by it, as you would be if it was your own.
Yeah.
So she's point blank refused. "I'm not doing it." And then when they found out that Sarah was upset about this friend of hers, they kind of turned the attention to us, and then at the very beginning of the X Factor, you have to sort of fill in this form saying your sort of best and worst moments.
Yeah.
And of course, Sarah had the fact that she was bullied at school on her application, so they zoomed in on that. And I remember doing this interview, you know, this sort of the interview that you do to get you sort of tea before you start. I remember doing that for about 4 or 5 hours, and it was like they really talked until they sort of got us all the emotions out, and the VT was only like 30 seconds, and it just looked like the entire time all the way through it we were like crying about the bullying, but it wasn't. There was so much to it. But yeah, so that is the crazy story about that whole situation. When you actually see Sarah crying on the screen, she was crying for that, not the bullying.
Yeah.
But obviously, it made it look that way. But at the same time, like, I think it was a really important story at the time.
Yeah.
Because that then got a lot of people to come out of the woodwork and admit that they were bullying, and it helped to sort of help. You'll never get rid of it fully, because there'll always be bullies and there'll always be victims. But it helped a hell of a lot of people to come out, and also brought a hell of a lot of fans towards us, because you know, those people that were unfortunately getting bullied then had someone that was like, that had come through it the other side and was like making a stand for those people. So it made a big thing. So I love that you love that song, because that was a really special, really special week for us. And if it had ended that day, we would have won, because we were hands down winners that day on the voting. So devastating that there was another week.
I can remember at school I was at school around the time he was on the X Factor, and I didn't realise about that big story behind it. So I just knew about the bullying, and I turned to my mum, and mum was like, "Oh, you're being bullied at school, aren't you now?" I said, "Well, yeah, because I didn't know I was gay at the time. I was 12 years old. You don't know anything. I didn't know anything at that age. But just because I didn't like PE or sports, they used to just call me gay. And obviously when they knew I was fans of you, and they watched the X Factor as well, these bullies, I call them, they're horrible. Oh, you like the same difference? Oh, they're not going to win, blah, blah, blah. And it just used to make me upset. So I was like, why are you being so rude and nasty? Like, really? It's like, I'm not bothering you, you're not bothering me. Let me get on with my own life. And because I used to go on YouTube on the dinner breaks, and your performances that was already out, I used to watch constantly with the headphones in. And I used to be crying, but not at you, but at the fact that I didn't have no friends at school, and I was just sat there looking and just smiling through it.
You got loads of friends now, including me. So what more can we say? But mate, that's a horrible story. I'm so sorry to hear that. But you know, you're not the only one. There's millions and millions of people that get bullied on a day-to-day basis, and and nowadays they've even added cyberbullying to it. You know, and some of the disgusting stuff that gets said to people. But you know, I used to get a lot of that when we come off the X Factor. But actually, having said that, nowadays I've got like a core group of fans that are nothing but lovely, and I feel like that's all that matters to me now.
Yeah, exactly.
As you get older, you kind of, those people all just go out their life, and probably, you know, you don't know what they're doing. Not all of them are unsuccessful, but I've found that a lot of the people that were bullying, you know, had that vibe. Aren't necessarily doing much. Don't hear anything from them. They've sort of fallen off the face of the earth, and you know, I just think you keep doing what you're doing and keep being a sort of upstanding, good person, and the right way, you know. And that's what I've always believed. And you end up finding, as you get older, you don't need to stay with those people. You can get your own group of friends.
Yeah.
And in the end, as you get older, you kind of count them on one hand, your real sort of like close friends that you tell anything to. So, you know, you don't necessarily need to worry about any of that anymore. You know, how are you doing with it all now? Everything's good, right?
Of course. I mean, I'm talking to you and doing this chat show.
Exactly. You know, you're getting out there online and everything's going great, and you know, you managed to find your jacket for online. I mean, you've got some good news about that, haven't you?
Sorry.
Tell everyone the news.
So me and my friend Jordan, I spoke to her a couple of weeks ago. I didn't mention this to you, but I spoke to her a couple of weeks ago, and I said I want to do something in tribute to him, because they got I'm going to be honest. Your CD got me through a lot at school, like being bullied and everything. But I said I want to do a tribute to him. I'm going to be Sean, obviously, because you know. And you could be Sarah because you've got the blonde hair. You kind of look like her a little bit, so that's quite cool. And I said, she went, okay, I'm up for that. So we're going to do something called the Same Difference Experience.
Yes.
Which will be next year. We've got a musical coming up as well in June that we're doing. So we're going to do that after. But I want to do some songs from pop, the rest is history, and I'm going to do a section dedicated to our album. So I'm going to do a few songs off the album.
Love that. So, hey, you're going to put us out of work though, because me and Sarah, mind you, me and Sarah haven't performed together for years. But I was going to say, like, now there's a Same Difference Experience. Like, what are we going to do?
I mean, yeah, you've got official invitations to the show. I want you two in the front row watching.
Imagine that. It'd be surreal. Like watching myself. Unbelievable.
I've always had I've always envisioned if we do something like this, we kind of want you two to come on the stage and start to do a routine, and then we come on behind you and push you to the side. Like, carry on.
Like the old and the new.
So back to the X Factor, you got to the top 3, which I was happy about. Every time you got through, I was running around the house screaming, like proper cheering, like, yes, they're through, take that. But it was a sad day when you came 3rd. Did you get to record the winner's single like the top 2 then?
We did indeed, yeah, definitely. And it was the last 4 actually from sort of Nikki, who we were talking about earlier, upwards. So okay. Nikki, us, really, and Leon, we all had to do like bits and pieces. Yeah, we had to go, I think it was Pinewood Studios, we went and recorded it there.
Oh, wow.
And obviously the winner gets cut in with all the bits they've done for the video, and obviously all the special moments from the X Factor time. And and then it got released. So that because it was released the day after the day after the final show, we all had to do it. So it was the semi-final. The week between the semi-final and the final, we all shot our video.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, ours never got made, but we've still got the our version of the single. So I've still got it to this day, and I loved our version. That was probably one of the saddest things actually for me, was that we never got to perform our version. Because I always thought if we can just get to that final 2, I think our version of When You might just nick it, because it really suited us. But
I'm intrigued to hear that how When You Believe would sound with you two. I think that'd be quite.
It's not what you know, it's who you know. I might be able to get you that version. You never know.
That's it.
But, it's hard, I'm really not allowed to.
It's fine. We're not talking about that anyway.
I'm not sure anyone's going to care after all these years, though. I'm not going to all of a sudden get hit with a court injunction. You shared, your version of the winner's single. I'm sure that anyone will be able to do a cover if they wanted to.
So after I honestly didn't know that. I just thought the top 2 performed it then, and then they would record it and release it the next day.
No, but well, that's obviously, I guess they want you to believe that. No one else's version ever gets released. So,
I mean, it is a good song, the original, Whitney, and I think it was Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey.
Yeah,
the original.
And to be fair, like Leon's version is very good. I remember hearing his and thinking it really suits his voice. I didn't think it would suit him, but it actually really does. But it is like one of those, because every Christmas they have the years and years of Christmas #1s.
Yeah.
And it's like, when all of a sudden I'll be working at the gym and I have Christmas #1s on, and then you'll see Leon on there, and it's like, it sort of sends that all sort of feeling through your body, because you think, that could have been us. And it's so amazing that what an achievement to have a Christmas #1 for him, and the likelihood is it probably would have been us if we won, but it wasn't meant to be. So, but there are other things that I wouldn't change come 3rd. I think it made people fight for us, and want to sort of prove that, there was something there, and that probably helped us out a lot in the long run.
I was devastated.
Oh, mate, that means
I was absolutely devastated when it happened.
Yeah, imagine how I felt. I remember feeling numb. We were sat backstage, Sarah and I, just people were coming up to us and talking to us, and
Yeah.
because everyone obviously at the time was a piece of you, just but we were numb. We couldn't speak, and you automatically just think, what does this mean for us? What does it mean that it's over there? We knew there was going to be the X Factor tour, but we didn't know that we'd have an album at that point. So it's just, when you just worry, thinking what's next. But luckily, they took the album up, and we still had a chance to make a career of it. And I'm so pleased that we did.
Speaking of your career, December 2008, you came out with the iconic "We Are One" single.
Oh my God! Yeah, you got it. Do you know, if you look in there? There'll be the dance moves.
Oh, right. Let's have a look.
Oh God, you can literally see them, can't you? The shame. I remember, because you know what? I remember the thought behind that, because I remember Steps did it for Tragedy.
Yeah.
And so it was like dun dun dun, dun, and they had the dance moves, and we were like, we want to do that. And they kept all the label was saying to us, we really don't think you should do that. We were like, no, we're adamant. We want it. It was great. We loved it when we were young with the Tragedy, so we want it. And they were like, okay, we'll do it. And that was us wanting it. And now to this day, I'm like, why did we do that? But it's what it is. It's good fun.
I like that. It does remind me of what Steps used to do, and it does.
But I mean, it doesn't.
It kind of looks like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo a little bit.
Oh my God, it does. It does. And that jacket there is the one that you're wearing right now.
Yes.
Crazy.
Now, there's a song on this single that I think is kind of like your winner's song, to be honest, Like a Miracle. It has that kind of X Factor winner's single vibe to it.
Yeah. We recorded that out in Sweden, and to this day I still love it. And there's a funny story that goes with that as well, actually, because there was this one line that Sarah couldn't get right in it. And it was like, honestly, we must have gone, because they're so pedantic over in Sweden, everything being perfect. And I can't remember which line it was, but she did it about 100 times. And she just couldn't get it right. And I remember being like, I'm losing my mind here with this thing. And I'm like, how is she not getting this right? And every time I hear that line, I can imagine her singing it 100 times over and over. Sorry, Sarah. But she wasn't always the quickest at picking up harmonies, but when she got them, it always sounded great, But yeah.
I like the video for We Are One as well. The little, I think it looks like a car sales lot that you're in.
Yeah. Out in LA, that was crazy.
Oh, wow.
And that video was done by the same guy who did like all the early Britney stuff.
Oh wow!
And it was incredible to work with someone of that caliber,
You still remember the routine?
Oh yeah, fully. I don't think it'll ever leave me. It's like one of those things that's so ingrained in my body. I'll probably be doing it on my deathbed, like final words. This is like.
Oh wow!
Yeah, amazing. It's one of them things that'll always stick with me.
I thought I'd pay tribute to you today by wearing the exact outfit you were in the video.
Love that. And what a bargain.
I know, £15 from Amazon.
I love it.
How long did it take you to film the video then? What was it like in a day, or did you do it in like separate days, or what was the...
Yeah, we shot it all in one day. I remember it was kind of like, it took so long that when the sun was going down, they had to actually, at the end, make it look like there was sun.
Yeah.
So, because it's always looks sunny in the same difference world. And it's amazing how they do it. They kind of get like reflective stuff and they shine lights on it. It gives it a look, and absolute madness. But yeah, it took us a day. I remember we did a few days of auditions for all the dancers, and that was great fun as well. And out in America, it's so different to here in the UK, because in the UK, it's like we all go in separately and everyone's weighing each other up, they look good. Over there, it's like they're all in the same room and they're like cheering each other on. And honestly, I think we should sort of take from their, their spirit of auditions, because I think it would be a hell of a lot more fun and it'd be sort of less sort of bitchiness, if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
But we had a great time.
Oh.
apart from I put on so much weight because everything was paid for by Simon Cowell. And one night we were like in Ashton Kutcher's restaurant with massive and you know what the portions are like out in America as well.
Yeah.
So, but we were out there 2 weeks and we were shooting the video at the end of it. By the time it got to the actual video, I was like, oh God, I can barely put a t-shirt on. And it was like a lot of the comments were like that because it looked like we'd put on weight since our time on the X Factor, you know. And it's like, if I could have my time over again, I wouldn't have picked out so much. But when in Rome, do you know what I mean? Everything's paid for, and they have all this amazing food. What are you going to do, you know?
Now, every time I hear the opening piano and you come in with the singing, I always get goosebumps because it always takes me back to when I was a kid.
Crazy. Yeah. It seems that every time we talk about that, it's like, it blows my mind and it's so sweet.
Oh. Now, after We Are One, you came out with the debut album Pop, which, by the way...
Oh, God. Of course you've got it. No dance moves in that one, thankfully. Only the song lyrics, which we were, again, adamant about. We were I want people to be able to sing along.
I think this is my favourite photo of you guys.
Oh, the one in the bumper cars. Oh,
yeah.
God. Wow. Yeah, I look like I'm, playing FIFA or something, you know. Crazy.
Yeah, this song, it goes without saying, I love every track on the album. It's one of the albums I don't skip every time I have it on my phone.
Oh, I love that.
A couple that stand out for me, obviously the single We Are One, but there's All the Roads Lead to Heaven and Right Between the Eyes. Them two are really, really good.
I'm so glad you said that. Right Between the Eyes is actually my favourite. It's not usually a fan favourite, funnily enough, but I absolutely love that. I love the vocal on it, and I'm really, really proud of that. So yeah, and also a great story about that was we actually nicked it because it was originally a Celine Dion record.
Oh wow!
And, it's because Celine Dion did what's that? I can't remember what it's called. It sounds a bit like it.
I'm Alive, I think.
I'm Alive. Yeah, it was made by the same producers. Crazy.
Oh, wow.
So she was planning to do another record that was similar, but I think maybe it was too similar, and it was getting played in, and we were like, "Can we have this? We want it." So nicked it off of Celine Dion. Crazy.
Every time when I do listen to it, I do get the sort of Celine Dion "I'm Alive" vibe from it, from the backing track.
Yeah. Well, as I said, it's exactly the same producer, exactly the same writers. So it's you got a good ear, definitely.
It is a very good album. I mean, All the Roads Lead to Heaven as well. That gives me really strong ABBA vibes.
Yeah,
at the beginning. The beginning sounds a little bit like Does Your Mother Know?
Yeah, it does. Does your mother know that you're out? Yeah, it is. It really is.
One track we spoke about this the other day. It Starts to Beat Again. I was listening to it and I said, I thought the chorus sounds really familiar. And then the next song that came on was Katy Perry's The One That Got Away. And I was just like, what?
Yeah. The chorus is exactly the same chord sequence. You can literally sing Starts to Beat over The One That Got Away. Madness. And but we had our single out first. But what blows my mind is that Starts to Beat was never a single.
No.
And but she had a smash hit with that.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same sort of thing. Yet she's seen as kind of cool, and it goes, it's a smash hit all over the world. And ours never ever got released. Isn't it mad that stuff like that happens?
If there was a song on the album you and Sarah could have released as a second single, which one would you have picked?
Oh wow! Do you know? I think. See, I always wanted to go down the route of it being all originals. What's my favourite on that album as a second single? Yeah, maybe because we wrote it, I probably would have wanted it to be If You Can't Dance at the time. Purely because...
Dance, baby, if you can.
Yeah. Purely because we wrote it and we would have made a lot more money. But it was planned that the next single was going to be Nothing's Going to Stop Us.
Yeah.
Which, makes sense. It's a good cover. But I was always like, you know that you're going to be like seen as like a cover, because we had Breaking Free on there as well.
Yeah.
And I never wanted that. I always thought we could be artists in our own right, so I wouldn't necessarily have wanted that. But we would have taken anything, you know, if they said, you know, that's going to be the single, we would have absolutely gladly have done that.
Yeah. I can remember you doing it on the X Factor as well.
Yeah. All those. That was probably my favourite X Factor performance as well.
Wow,
we've really covered loads of X Factor stuff, haven't we? It's mad.
Well, I knew all your fans knew you could sing anyway on the show. Your harmonies were tight, your vocals were amazing. There was one judge that I can't stand him now to this day, and he was absolutely. I don't understand why he was so horrible towards you, Louis. What was his problem?
Oh, do you know what? I still think to this day that he's not actually that bad. I mean, he used to come up to us and say, "Look, I'm going to say this about you tonight, you know, but don't worry, relax." And I think, as I say, a lot of the time, what the judges say and the fact that they fight against one another makes exciting TV. So, but yeah, I did used to find sometimes like it was just harsh for the sake of being harsh for no reason, and there was no reason for it. He just didn't like us. And it was almost like just bitchy comments for the sake of it, you know, because as I say, other people I was noticing were doing way more bum notes and stuff like that, and they never ever got picked up, you know, and you start to think we would do, you know, generally, we were always sort of pretty in tune and everything, so it was just purely that we weren't his style, and there's not really a lot you could do about that, and you know, I don't hold any grudges against him. We saw him when we went to film Celebrity Juice, and he was there that night. And it was good to catch up with him, really, and he was actually really nice to us. And when we came back to do We Are One the year after, he actually said that he was wrong about us. So as far as I was concerned, that was everything we needed to let bygones be bygones, you know.
So of course, after the success of Pop in 2011, you released Shine On Forever, Photo Frame, which is the lead single from The Rest Is History. I do have that album.
Oh my goodness, you got all of them.
Now, can you remember Smash Hits music channel on the TV?
Yeah.
They used to do a thing called Then and Now. So they used to show like old music videos, either the first one or the ones people remembered. And then they'd show a brand new video or a new song they've done. So they did Aqua. So they did a song from Aqua, I can't remember which one. And then they did a new one at the time called Back to the 80s, and that was on. And then you guys came on, We Are One. Obviously, I know that one. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Then one Shine On Forever came on, and at first I was like, oh, it's them. What? New music?
Yeah.
And I was like, it was a lot more mature than We Are One. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely something that we wanted to do, because I think really by that point, the High School Musical thing, although it still had its fans, it kind of run its course a little bit.
Yeah.
And Lady Gaga was kind of huge at the time, you know, with her first album. And I felt like she was doing pure pop, and we were like, this is what we should be doing. We should be doing pure pop. And I don't think that should have been the first single, you know, the Shine On Forever, but because I think it should have been Karma Karma. But it was great at the time, and I loved shooting that video. And I think that we came out with this new mature image, and I was really proud about how it all went.
I like the routine from that. It's like that, isn't it?
There was this dance style called whacking. And I don't know have you ever heard of it before? I think a lot of dancers will have heard of it, but at that time it was huge, and people were doing it all over the place, and it's all this kind of whack, you know, whack, you know, and it was, and so that was kind of like again, that was something that we decided on. Let's do it to that style, and I'm really pleased at how the sort of video ended up.
It is a good video. Where did you shoot the video for that?
We shot it in, I think it was in like a club in London. I can't remember what the name of it is, but it's quite a famous club, and that video wall gets used a hell of a lot, because it gets used a lot on like workout videos kind of thing.
Okay,
yeah, stuff that. Yeah, so we never knew it got used so much, but it's quite a sort of famous place. Yeah.
So straight after the single, The Rest Is History came out. Now, I think out of Pop and Rest Is History, I think this is my all-time favourite.
Really?
Yeah, I do love Pop. Don't get me wrong. I love the album. I love this one as well because songs like Euphoria, Karma Karma, Best Mistake, This Is Me are all staples on that album. And Karma Karma, like you just mentioned, should have been a single because that duet with Alcazar, like, wow. What was it like? Did you meet them and record it together, or did they record it separately to you?
Unfortunately not. We got sent the demo by their management team. And as I think they were half thinking, about letting us have the song. But then we were like, why don't we do it as a duet? And they were happy with that as well. So I think I'm so glad that we did, because it was something that people were so happy with, because it's two styles coming across one another, and it was just like pop gold, So I'm so glad it happened the way that it did. But no, we always, the reason why it wasn't a single is because we just couldn't get them over. It was all too costly. Do you know what I mean? By the time we got them over, by the time we've got the sort of budget that we had, because we were with an independent for the second single.
Yeah.
I mean, bearing in mind that back then, music videos cost thousands. I think the We Are One was like 250,000.
Wow.
And I think we did the Shine On one for about 20,000, which, the difference in budget is ridiculous, but still huge amounts of money, that has to be recouped before we can start. So it's, but to get them over and then to have all the stuff that goes with it, it was just, costs were adding up and up and up and up. And there was too many things that stopped it from being able to happen, which was a huge shame. But, it's, you can't guarantee that if we did manage to do that video, it would have made the album a much bigger success. You can't guarantee that. So I don't think you can have any regrets, but it's just a shame that we never got the chance to do that,
I always imagine the music video to be like a beach. You'd be on a beach, like doing your little bits, and then Alcazar coming in, doing their little bits, and then having the last bridge and chorus in like a massive nightclub. You guys on the stage, everybody partying, doing a routine.
Yeah.
That would have been.
See, there's so much to it, like, because everyone will be in the party will be an extra. Do you know what I mean? And that's all cost, and then you've got like, it's so much. But that how perfect would that have been?
I know.
If we getting a crowd, getting them over, beach, party, club, it's just what dreams are made of, but wasn't meant to be this time.
Another song on the album, which I think should have been a single, is The Rest Is History. Because I can remember you doing it on This Morning. You performed it on This Morning, and I thought back then it was going to be a single, because I always remember artists going on like shows like that performing their latest single. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I kind of thought
it was just, we were trying to think of a song that was going to be good to sing, and that one just kind of was one work for us live. Shine On was already released, so we wanted like a lead single to go with the album, so that's why we kind of used that. But we never released it as a single. We just did the one single and then the album. We kind of wanted everything to be revolved around the album, because we knew we had a good piece of art there. And so it was all about getting people to get the album so they could kind of see the whole thing, and that was what everything was geared up for. So unlike nowadays where you maybe have 4 or 5 singles off an album, because it's all about the songs now, and building up as much love as you can for the songs. So things have changed a hell of a lot.
I could always remember that performance, and I can remember at the time watching it, like, it should have been a single, because your voices are really strong on the song, and then the harmonies kicked in, and you, like, every so often you'd look at the camera and follow it around and smile. And
I remember feeling quite confident that day. Really, really, really good about it. And we did like a Beat the Chef thing. We unfortunately didn't win that, but I remember it blew my mind, because I've never seen them do chef stuff before, and they have everything prepared earlier, don't they? So I was like working on getting one of the bits done, thinking we've only got a short space of time for the segment, and then I'll turn around like that, come back, and it'd just be made, and I'd be like, what happened? What happened there? And you can see me like the whole way through it, just confused. And Sarah's like looking at me like, just get with the picture, Sean. Like they keep bringing out, it's like here's one we made earlier, and I'll just the whole way through it, just confused.
I might have to find that. I don't think it's on YouTube, but I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not. But it was a hilarious time.
Now it was a sad day in pop. Well, a sad year in pop. In 2014, when you guys disbanded. Very upsetting for me. Thanks a lot. What was the if you don't mind me asking, what was the decision? Because I know there was meant to be a third album.
Yeah, well, the third album was more like demo. We carried on making demos because you never know when you're going to do anything else. So music was always there, and we were always getting songs sent to us, and anything that we liked, we'd go and record, and there was nothing to stop us from doing that. So it was gearing up to potentially doing another one. I just think we got to a point because we had done, we kind of exhausted it, if you know what I mean. We went from like Butlins to Pontins to Haven to, we'd done all that kind of stuff, and we'd had 2 albums. It got to a point where we were doing our pop academies, which was like teaching kids, and they were going up on stage performing, and then we'd do all the gigs around it too. And then it came to a year where they decided to do that, take that same format but do it with diversity. Obviously, they were years after us with talent, and obviously they're known for their dancing. A lot of kids want to learn street dance and stuff too. So it made sense. I had nothing against that. But that then meant that it kind of the contract that we had moved to them. So it was like we could have carried on because we were still getting loads of stuff coming all the time. But it got to a point where we were like, we will continue another year, and probably make a living and still keep the name alive and everything like that. But it was getting to the point where it was like, is there going to be another big, when you saw Pop did 250,000 in a few weeks, and then the second one didn't do as many sales and stuff. You start to think, well, if the third one does this, but that happens with a lot of artists, so it's not just that. Even the biggest artists, they find it hard to follow up albums and stuff like that. So it's a long-winded version of saying it just run its course for us. And I think that Sarah was like, you could tell that she really wanted kids, and she wanted a family, and she wanted to start the Pop Academy thing. For her was something that she really loved. She wanted to roll with it. And for me, it was like, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be teaching, that was like, for me, sort of taking a step away from what I love, and was never what I wanted. So it was obvious that was where it was going, but obviously there was a few tears and everything. It was around the Christmas period. I remember it. And, I think, honestly and truly, I wanted to carry on. But I also knew in my heart of hearts, it was never going to be as big as it was. No. So in a way, I knew that it had to be done. But sad time, mate. Sad time.
Very sad. So let's fast forward to 2016, where you dipped your toe, as we say, into your very own solo music with your debut single "Turn Me On," which, can I just say, best video ever.
Thanks, buddy.
I wonder why. So what was it like recording your very own song at the time?
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Like, I could not believe that I was there. It was like going back over old ground yet again. All the things that I loved about Same Difference was happening, but this time it was all on my own. And I remember we made the conscious decision to dance in it, because I wanted to dance in the video, because I didn't want to sort of like, I wanted it to be like a crossover from Same Difference. And I wanted to bring all the Same Difference fans along with me. So I didn't want to all of a sudden be like, I'm cool and I'm just talking to the camera, and just, people be like, that's not the Sean we know and love, and I'm not going to follow him. And you don't want to alienate the fans that you've already got, because you already know you've got fans there, and you want to grow, but looking back at it now, I probably wouldn't have done the dancing.
I like the dancing.
I think a lot of people were telling us, why are you dancing? Why are you still dancing? You know, by that point I was a bit older too. You know, it's not necessarily, it's not necessarily the coolest thing to be doing. But my word, we had the most incredible day shooting that video. It was so much fun. And
fun.
Yeah, and it's crazy stuff happening. It was like, I couldn't believe it myself. In one room you had, and it was all getting shot, bit by bit, because we had so many things to get in, so many extras and everything like that, that things were getting shot all over the place. So I didn't actually see a lot of it being shot, and when it came into the video, I was like, what? That happened on the day? It was just like...
And of course you had to lose at strip poker.
Yeah, which I was devastated to lose, but it was.
No, you wasn't.
It was all part of the fun of the day. It was like, right, he's going to come in and then he's going to lay down a hand, which means you've got to lose your clothes. And then the next minute it was like, now I'm going to pass the strawberry round, and then it was like, no, you've got to put the horse head on and lay in the bed. It's like, and then the next minute they're like, pillow fight their underwear. It was just nuts. The day was nuts.
Is it got warm in here?
It's that jacket,
Yeah, that's where it is. That's where it is. So it is a good shift from same difference days to like crossover, as you said, because you've got the dancing in there, you've got obviously you in there, and the voice that's never gone away. There's a little bit in the song which I think is one of the best melodies I've heard. It's on the second bridge.
Okay.
I'm gonna attempt it. I might butcher it.
Yeah, please do.
So it's that stay until the morning comes. We just like,
I love it.
Like, oh, I like that. It's really good.
Do you know I nicked that from? It's in Halo. By Beyonce.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember. I love that song, Halo. It's one of my favourites.
Yeah.
And I used to listen to it, and yeah, she kind of, you'll notice that she does it. She does that, not with different lyrics, obviously, but it's sort of and so I nicked it when I put it into that song. But thanks, buddy, because that was my idea. So I appreciate that you like that.
It's just the little, I call it like the run that you do. It goes down. I'm like, oh, I like that.
Mate, thank you very much.
So then after Turn Me On, you released, in my opinion, banger after banger. So you released Magic, Fire, which I've done a cover of.
Nice, yeah, you have indeed. Yeah, I've heard that. Really, really good. Really,
Do or Die.
Yeah, oh, right.
yeah, a duet that I made. That took forever to do, because obviously I had to mute your parts and my parts, and add them in there and there.
How you managed to do that, I'll never know, because I've not released the backing track, so I don't know how.
Long story short, there's a website where you can extract the vocals or extract the music and just have it as a backing track or for a cappella. So that's what I kind of did.
And I love the designs that you do on stuff as well. Really, really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, lots of practice from Photoshop at school, and obviously I show every time I make a new one, I send it for your approval.
Thanks, mate.
So one of my favorite videos, other than Turn Me On, not because you get naked in it, half naked, but, is Do or Die. I quite like that one as well.
Yeah, that's my girlfriend that's in it with me.
Lucy.
Yeah, did you know that? Yeah, she's
Sorry, is Lucy in the Turn Me On video as well?
No, Lucy's not in the Turn Me On.
There's a girl in the video behind you. I thought it was. She kind of looks like her a little bit.
Oh no, I don't know. I don't think that's Lucy.
Sorry.
But yeah, she's like a little But no, Lucy was in Do or Die with me, and yeah, it was lovely to be able to because it was so natural, and the story goes that I'm this sort of I've lost my way a bit in life, and I'm living in a mobile home. And we used to have an incredible life. Things have gone, took a downturn.
Yeah.
I've got myself into some trouble with some bad guys, and they take her away, and I have to go get her back. And it's a very cinematic style story. But yeah, we had so much fun shooting that, and I think she did a great job with her acting skills.
Yeah.
friend who plays the sort of mod boss. He's the guy who played Khashoggi with me in We Will Rock You, and he does a lot of stuff. Like, for example, he was in the Kingsman movie as like the director and all this kind of stuff. Really, really, really cool. And so it was amazing to have all those people on board to make this sort of like almost like a mini movie, you know?
Yeah. I can tell the chemistry between you and your girlfriend. I didn't realise it was your girlfriend at the time watching it, but the chemistry is really good between you two and the acting. And then I can remember one interview I heard, you said the guy you had to punch was taller than you.
Yeah. Oh, he was like twice my size. It was so, you know, in like, but it's so far fetched. But you see that in movies all the time, don't you? Where like there's 100 guys and someone will just go whoa, 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 and just take them all out. And but it was kind of like that, you know. It's this huge guy, and we ended up doing a bit of a fight scene in it, and I ended up coming out on top. But there's no way in real life that would ever happen. He's huge.
You never know.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Maybe if you sort of like get a lucky punch and run away. But no, it was. I'm pleased you said that about it, because I think it was great. It came out really, really good, that video. So I'm proud of it.
Yeah, it's other than Turn Me On, it's one of my favourite videos you've done as well.
Thanks, buddy.
As well as Magic. And so after that, you did a duet with Peter Wilson, Verona.
Yes. Yeah.
And you did Dirty Mirrors with Ben Davidson.
Yeah.
And you did I don't know why I always get this wrong, so sorry if I got the title wrong, but it was with Beware the Bear, Show Me Love. Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah. So I think there's so much more to come from those guys, because they're so unbelievably talented. And in the back pocket, I know that we've got an absolute banger of a tune with them. Ooh. So, but it's about getting the timing right and when to release it, because because obviously we've got the album's out, Same Difference charity record, which really we need to get out sooner rather than later, because it is for the NHS.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously everyone's praying there's not going to be a second wave. So, you know, I think the more money they've got to sort of treat it, you know, the sooner we're going to be out of this mess. But I can't remember what you were saying. I think I went off on a tangent.
No, it's fine. So it's about time you did this, and it's been a long time coming, but your album Solo came out on the 20th.
Of course you've got it.
And I pre-ordered it the day so I could get the postcard.
Oh, amazing. You got that. Amazing.
I was just like, please let me get the postcard.
Someone put online, why do you put like it's full Sean and 2 kisses? It's like just put a squiggle like Lady Gaga does.
No, I think it's more not sentimental, but do you know what I mean? It's more. It means more to the fan.
Yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah, and plus, I'm. It means a lot to me that people go out of their way to buy my album, and everything's going really, really well. But I'm overjoyed.
It is honestly a strong album. Not only your first solo album, but such a strong album to come out with as well.
Thanks, buddy. It means a lot. It means a lot of work on it.
You're very welcome. Obviously, I love the album. A few of my favourite songs are Falling, For You, Never Gonna Change. That Never Gonna Change kind of gives me a George Michael vibe. Like his solo career. It kind of gives me that kind of vibe, the style of the song. Yeah,
some people have said sort of it's got like sort of early Michael Jackson in there as well. It's weird. It's like I wrote that song, funnily enough, with a friend of mine. Again, the same guy plays Khashoggi, and we were just really, really good friends when we were on shit together. So he used to just jam, and we used to just write stuff, and we felt like we'd made a banger out of that one, and got it all produced. But that means a lot, because obviously, you know, George Michael is a good thing for me, because he kind of went from Wham, which was doing like that kind of music, and then he kind of come out with his solo stuff where, you know, he's a perfect sort of example of what could happen.
Yeah.
You know, obviously he was huge and like world renowned and
Yeah.
loved and everything. There's a long, long way to go, but he's definitely an artist that I've always had a great respect for.
Oh. As well as your album being released on CD, and you've got it on vinyl as well, which I missed out on, unfortunately.
Oh mate, I don't even know if I'm going to get one. I really hope so. I know that they only ordered the limited edition amount. So if they've gone, they've gone. But I don't know. I'm really hoping that they're going to have like got me a cheeky one. But I don't know that it's going to happen. I'm really hoping so.
Because I read somewhere, correct me if I'm wrong, when you was younger, you used to save up your pocket money and go buy the vinyls of the artists that you liked when you was younger. Is that true?
100% true. The very first one I ever bought was Jason Donovan, which obviously goes back to
X Factor.
Performing with him on the X Factor. Yeah, so that, and I remember telling him that I saved up my money and I bought the it was Happy Together, and then he came out just after that with Any Dream Will Do, and I went and bought that as well. Yeah, and mad, we sang that on the X Factor too.
Yeah,
it's like crazy, absolutely crazy.
I think Joseph is one of my favourite musicals, but I like the movie version with Donny Osmond.
Yeah, really. Yeah, I think I'm probably too old to do Joseph now. It's a shame. It's one of those.
Oh, you're never too old.
Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah, they don't. But Joseph's supposed to be like a young boy. He's like you know, yeah. It's one of those things that always just eluded me because I would have loved to have done that. But you know, especially when because they were saying that Sarah and I could have done like Joseph the Narrator. So but unfortunately it wasn't in town at the time, and then by the time we went on tour, we were already out doing our tour stuff. So yeah, it just never really came round. But yeah,
I could honestly see you as Joseph and Sarah as the narrator, because I know I've never met Sarah or you. Well, met you virtually, but since being a kid, I've always said to myself, I'm going to interview him one day, whether it's together or separate, or in a magazine or on telly. I'm going to interview him, and it's going to be a really good time. Flash forward 20 years on, here we are.
I absolutely love that, mate. Do you know what? I'm a big believer in like, you put out there, you get back in the universe. And I think maybe by thinking that and putting it out there, it's ended up coming to fruition, and I couldn't be happier for you.
But I would never, ever expect, and this is the God's honest truth, I never expected us to be friends or be in contact with each other. That's just surreal for me. I mean, when I saw you accepting my friend request, I was like, oh, okay, we're friends now, all right.
You're welcome, buddy. You're welcome. What can I say?
Going back to your album Solo, I did some, I know you like my designs, so I made a couple of physical CD singles, which I think you should release these 2 songs next. So the first one is Falling. So.
All right. Oh, wow. Yeah. See, I told you should do your own.
This hasn't got the dance moves in because it's not out yet.
That is absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
Love it. I like Hazard as well. That's a good track.
Yeah, it's a brilliant. Yeah, I love the original as much as I love the new version as well. But that's great, mate. You should, honestly, I've said it to you before, you should do graphic design. It's obvious. It's an obvious calling for you.
And then I did another one for your track For You. I used quite an old picture actually. This one is from when you did the promo for Shine On Forever, the promo pictures, and you've got you like that with the glasses on.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah,
so I made a silhouette of it and did that.
That's cool. That's very cool. Very, very cool. I love the colours that you've used.
I did a lot better with the design this time.
And music's on there as well. You love your B-sides as well. That's amazing. Yeah, great work, mate. But as I said, I could see that as a career for you, definitely.
I'd love to go into something like that and do it for other businesses and that kind of thing. And obviously, I'd love to, if an artist approached me or something and they said, oh, right, I want this, this, and this, could you do that? And I'd love to, see my work out there as well.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you never know. You never know. And say, might see if you can do something for a single for us one day or something. You never know.
Well, if you release Falling next, then that should cover right there.
Yeah, because that's already been out, hasn't it? That picture. So you've got to put something new out. People would be like, you using old old pictures. But great job, man. Really, really good job.
you.
Love that. Thank you for that. And
There's
I love that you're spending your time doing that. It's just like mad to me.
Well, it's coming from a fan's point of view. So as a fan, thank you for putting out such an incredible album.
Thanks, buddy.
Having the good music. There's one song that makes me cry now. Well, two songs actually. All or Nothing.
Really? Wow.
And I Want to Stay. I can hear the emotion that you're putting out in those.
Yeah.
There's one note in All or Nothing I could not do. It's when I first heard it, I was like, what? Replayed it, and then you did like the really high note in All or Nothing.
Go on, try it for me.
I tried it. My voice croaked.
I think, are you talking about I've seen the light?
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I'm sure you could do it. It's just a head voice note. I doubt I could do it in my chest voice.
I tried it the other day singing along with you, and I was just like, oh, I'm not doing that again.
I'm so glad you like those two songs, because there's always, with an artist like me, it's always iffy wondering whether or not to do ballads, and we decided to put those two in, and I'm really proud of how they've come out. I'm so glad that you appreciate them, so thanks, buddy.
It's just the raw emotion in your voice, like in All or Nothing when it starts. I get goosebumps, and I'm like sat there like, oh, who hurt you? Who hurt you?
I love it.
Who hurt you, Sean? What? Why did she do that? I think one of the lyrics, I think it's like, I don't just want to be another number in your phone or something.
Yeah, I don't want to be another number in your phone.
I was like, God, yeah. Who is that girl? I'm gonna find her. Not her too.
Everyone. Do you know though? I didn't actually write that song, but I feel like when you're delivering the vocal, you have to be able to like link it to something in your own life to be able to deliver it correctly. Otherwise, you don't get the right emotion into it. It's like with acting, you have to be able to sort of lock into something that's happened similar to be able to get it across. And that, I feel like it's the same with that.
Yeah.
But because I didn't write it, I wanted to, still make it feel like it was my record.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad that I've managed to evoke those emotions in you, because I know that I was putting that into it myself. Yeah. So thanks, buddy.
Yeah. Thank you for making me cry.
It's not the first time, like from back in the day as well.
I know.
Saying, oh God, I'm sorry. I don't mean to.
Now, a couple of weeks ago, you appeared on. Well, I'm not going into it too much because we spoke about it. He was on a live show on Facebook, with Sarah, and as soon as I saw that you two were back, I was like, I need to find this. Where is it? Same difference again. Whoa! What the hell? I was like, is it 2007 again? But there was a little thing at the bottom where you could write messages and they'd appear on the screen for you to see. And I just, and I get a shout out, grew up with you guys. And then I could see your face as soon as you went, hi, Jake. But Sarah said
that was a weird interview, wasn't it? A really weird interview. But and also, like, not only that, our internet was so bad that it kept dropping out, and it's like, oh God, I want the world to eat me up because my internet's so bad. But and they were like doing like readings on me and stuff like that. I was like, I don't know, because it kind of freaks me out, that kind of stuff. I don't know about you. But it was really interesting, some of the stuff they were saying. But a bit weird, that interview.
But when Sarah went, hi Jake, and you went, hi Jake, I was like, oh, they've said it. Hi.
It's the little things. It's the little things that make a difference.
The 12-year-old me was screaming at that point.
I love that.
I was half expecting you to announce, because I only watched a little bit of it because my internet was dropping out as well while watching it. And I was like, oh, they're back. They're going to announce something. And then, obviously, I didn't watch it. And then I think it was either you I saw first or the Same Difference page. Announcement, new single. I was like, what? New Same Difference record? Are you kidding? And it's like, hi.
This doesn't mean we're back there, buddy. Don't get excited. This is a one-off.
I'll take anything.
you know, we always love that song. And as I said, it was my school teacher, John Gledhill. We talked about For You to Envy before. He wrote the song, and we used to sing it back in the day. In fact, I didn't sing it with Sarah. I sang it with another girl, who was playing, I think, even my sister or my love interest in the show that we were doing. And people used to say, we absolutely love that song. And then we asked if me and Sarah could get the track so we could do a version years ago, and we did it for my granddad, and he used to play it over and over and over. And when this whole thing happened with coronavirus, we thought, what a better song. But we thought some of the lyrics don't work, so then we went back to our old school teacher and said, how do you fancy like rewriting it? And so he's actually rewritten the song to fit the current situation. And it's a song about hope. You know, it's not about like how things are sad and, you know, all lost and everything. Although obviously the sentiment of remembering them is in there. It's more about hope, you know, looking forward to after it and what it's going to do to us, that we've all come together to get through this situation. And it's a beautiful song, and I hope that everyone loves the version that we've done as much as we do.
If it's not too much to ask, could you maybe sing a little bit of the chorus?
That is a lot to ask, because the other thing is I'm on the harmony, so it's probably. Do you know what? I really want you to hear. I don't want to ruin it here, because I want you to hear it for the first time in the way that it's meant. Because if I sing it for you, it's not going to be, for one, you're not going to hear Sarah's gorgeous vocals that you haven't heard in ages. Like, it was actually quite a spine-tingling thing for me.
Yeah.
Because I sing the first verse. I'm giving stuff away now. But I sing the first verse. And then when Sarah comes in, the bass comes in as well. And it's like, she's back. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, she's back. You know, I haven't heard her on record in so long. And you get them feelings down your neck, you know. So I think I want to leave you to hear it for the first time, so you feel the way that I do, rather than me try and sing Sarah's tune, get it wrong, and it not be a good version. So this is the only thing that I'm going to say no to. Sorry, mate.
Damn it. It was worth a try. No, I think I'm going to cry then, the way you've just described it.
Yeah, when Sarah's vocal first comes in, I think it's a special moment, because I don't think anyone's heard her singing for 10, you know what I mean, since the last album. So, and as I say, it's her voice is what makes that same different sound. So it's it's special. And there's, you know, those tight harmonies there in there. You speak about them a lot. So and also if you bought the CD, you've got a ready-made backing track for your new experience.
Was you supposed to order one, because I ordered all 100?
Did you not get in?
No, I've got what I've ordered the 100. I thought I was meant to order one.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right.
I'll give 99 back, I promise. I'll just keep the one.
No, the thing is, because there's 100 kids. Wow, there's more than 100 kids on it. But the thing is, like, we don't want to release loads of CDs because they don't count towards the chart. They're more of like a memento.
Yeah.
So we want to give ourselves a chance of getting a chart position, you know, of doing well, because we think that the higher it gets, the more people will hear it, the more likely we are to make more money for the NHS. So, but you know, we're not saying we're never going to release more CDs. If there is a calling for it at the end, that people still want that memento, there's nothing stopping that happening later on. But for now, we really want to gear it towards sort of online stuff, because it counts towards the chart, to give it a chance of making as much money as we can for the NHS.
I'm hoping it comes as a CD single as well.
Oh yeah, it will
the nostalgia feeling of it.
Yeah, definitely. And as I said, it's got the backing track version, like the sing along version. So you know, you guys can sing along with it.
Oh, I honestly can't wait for that. It's not just like same difference, but it's like my childhood as well. So if it's come out with a new song, it's like, wow, this is going to be awesome. Like, they're back, but only for one time.
Yeah, but for a good cause and for good reason, and with a song that means so much to us from when we were young as well. So yeah. so many boxes ticked.
Well, thank you so much for being the first guest on an interview with. It's been absolutely amazing having you here. I'm so grateful you've agreed to do this.
Don't be silly, mate. I know that you've got some other great artists and other great people coming on your show. So best of luck. I really hope it's a huge success for you, because you deserve it. And I can't thank you enough for all your support, for saying such lovely things. It's been a beautiful interview.
Is there any social media links you want to give to our viewers so they can follow you?
Well, let's, I mean, if people go to SeanSmithSolo.com, all lowercase, and obviously Sean spelled S-E-A-N. I always need to let people know that. Then, you can get in touch with me. You can get on social media, and all of my songs and albums and all this sort of stuff that's still available to buy as a physical copy is on there. So check me out and definitely come and say hello, because that's how we ended up catching up, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
You know, by getting on social media, and that's the way of the world now. So come say hello, like the stuff, enjoy my songs, and but come on this journey with me.
Make sure you buy his new album Solo as well.
Definitely.
Because it is amazing, not just from a friend's point of view, but a fan's perspective as well. It is a brilliant album. Very proud of you. You deserve this, honestly. You've worked.
That means a lot.
I've seen how hard you've worked throughout it as well. So it's all paid off.
Thanks, buddy. You're so sweet, and I really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Bye, everyone.
This is love. This is life. This is good.